So perfect. It's 5 p.m. It's not Thursday, but it's Tuesday. So we start our today's session of our Corona talk, virus versus hotels. Welcome everybody. Welcome to our great panelists and all the people watching our little session today. Today's topic will be how to push direct sales, which is definitely an important topic for this today's situation. As I mentioned, thank you again. Thank you in advance to all the panelists. We will take it as our Barcamps we usually have. It's keep it short and simple. We will start with a short introduction. So please, the panelists, please introduce yourself with the name, with the company, and a hashtag. So if you want to start, grab a drink at the bar, and then we'll kick off. One important message or side note, if you have any questions to the topic or to one of the panelists, please put it up in the Q&A session. Liza then will handle those questions and we'll take care of it. So yeah, I think we can start introducing yourself. I'll start myself. I'm Alex. I'm the head of digital, working for the opensmjle team and supporting Liza in our today's session for the Hospitality Industry Club. So Liza will be your technical host in the background. And I think we do have a slide for the introduction. So here we go. So we start with Neha with your introduction. Welcome, Neha.
Hi, thank you for having me again. I'm Neha from Revinate, and our EMEA headquarters in Amsterdam. I'm responsible for the DACH market. So what does Revinate do? 11 years ago, we started with the reputation and surveys platform, but then 6 years ago, we also continued with a full CRM platform. And today we are talking about a fully integrated guest data platform. So what does it mean for the hoteliers? For the hoteliers, it means, first of all, clean guest data, very, very important. And then secondly, also target group specific and automated guest communication together with, I would say less dependency on OTAs, additional revenue through upsells and upgrades, etc., etc. I'll keep it short today. My hashtag is Together We Can Do It.
Thank you, Neha. Maurits, you're next.
Here we go. Hi, I'm Maurits. I'm a hotel consultant with Hoteliers.com. We are now in the business for 15 years this year, and we're helping hotels already for 15 years optimizing their direct business. So we fit perfectly in today's team, and we have started with a direct business platform 15 years ago, and we've increased with lots of e-commerce tools and marketing tools to help hotels increase their direct business and be less dependent on OTAs.
Thank you. Frank, you're next now.
Yes. Okay, thanks. My name is Frank from NextGuest. We helped hoteliers to generate revenue through digital engagement by providing integrated technology for CRM and digital marketing. But also in the field of consulting and innovations. In the CRM field, we offer strong services like the comprehensive CRM suite, including a data management platform for cleansing, matching, and merging your profile data, mainly from the PMS. We deliver a solution for guest communications, which means confirmation, pre-arrival, post-stay emails for up and cross-selling. And in the field of digital marketing, we deliver services like website building, content management systems, SEO and SEM, and meta search services. And my hashtag today is not Kräuterbutter, Liza. It's let's now rock direct sales with CRM. Thank you.
That's a long hashtag. Thank you, Frank. André, it's your turn.
Hi, everyone. My name is André. I'm the COO at a company called Hotelchamp. We just celebrated also our 5th anniversary, which we're really happy about. We normally help hoteliers drive more direct revenue with personalized messaging on hotel websites. So you can really understand what kind of guest profiles are on your page and then convert them with some messaging. Sounds quite difficult. How we help hoteliers right now throughout COVID is actually setting up super easy messaging on their websites to inform guests if they're open, if they're not open, or what kind of measures they're taking to keep guests safe. And we help guests setting up small offer campaigns to generate direct revenue with very specific offers, which bring them revenue in their pockets right now in this difficult situation. My hashtag is reopen.
Perfect, thank you. So now we are coming to the hoteliers, and I'm happy to have you here. Daniel, please introduce yourself and tell us something about your special property.
Yeah, my name is Dan Salmanovic. I'm the founder of Arcade Hotel. It's the world's first geek and video game hotel. We're a 42-room hotel based in Amsterdam. My history comes from a family background of hotels. So we've had multiple properties across Europe over the last 15 years. And I started in housekeeping and breakfast and worked my way up to eventually starting this new concept. So if you are a geek and a gamer, make sure you stop by. And my hashtag is hashtag be excellent to each other. This is something that Bill and Ted said in their movies, and it's something that's written across the facade of our hotel as well.
Perfect hashtag, definitely. Sasha, you are the one now.
All right, hi everybody. I'm Sasha Bahremandi. I am CEO, but I'm also very operational in Queen's Hotel, and we're a mid-sized family-run hotel, and right in the middle of the city center of Stockholm. A little bit boutique, trying to give people a familiar feeling so that it's not experience. And well, right now we're just hanging in there, but hoping on creating some more sales soon. But yeah, it's all about the family experience with us.
Perfect. So I think Liza could start our first poll, because we want to know where are you located when you're watching us. Now, Liza, it's your turn. There it is. So please let us know where are you located. And I will maybe already start with the first questions to Daniel. You have a very, I would say, niche target audience, probably. What are your activities to target your audience for driving direct traffic?
I mean, for starters, I don't think whether it's Corona or not Corona, our sales have to be focused on getting everybody to your website from day one. A few years ago, before I opened up the Arcade, we were the Aalborg Hotel, just a 36-room hotel located in Amsterdam, Booking.com, revolving door, in and out. And over those last 4 years, we started investing heavily in Hotelchamp we were using. We're using our social media, newsletters. We're finding any which way to communicate with our guests as much as possible. And we went from 2% direct bookings up to 20% by the end of last year. And this is just keeping your communication open, creating content, explaining to people what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it. I mean, especially now with COVID happening, I think that the guests are going to be looking at everyone's websites a lot more to see what hygiene measures are in place. And this is the time where you need to ensure that your website is up to date with whether it's new information, whether it's your meta search, whether your meta tags. You have to ensure that you're converting anytime somebody comes onto your website. So whether you are going to offer something a little bit extra than Booking.com, whether you're going to do a little bit of a rate difference between your easy cancellation or your non-refundable bookings, whether you're going to go a little bit cheaper than your OTAs, late checkout. I mean, you need to offer something now that's going to ensure that once these people are on your website, that they are going to stay, they are going to go through the booking process. Obviously with OTAs, we always had an issue that it's just a lot easier to book with OTAs. You have your profile, you have your credit card details saved. So we were always fighting, I guess, against that. We're in the process, actually, this is good for Maurits, to upsell a little bit Maurits, but we're in the process of switching over to the Hoteliers booking engine. I know that the owner of Hoteliers, Patrick, who I've been working with on and off for years, has spent a lot of time and money into the psychology of the page-by-page process of the booking engine. So obviously that whole psychological process has to be looked at. But really when it comes down to it, it's added value and information. I think that's what's gonna help people convert on your website.
So in detail, there isn't much change in terms of the channel strategy before Corona and the current situation, right?
I mean, the difference is, I think, there's more traffic to our websites, I think is the only difference that's going to happen now. But other than that, I mean, people's booking trends are more or less, especially in the corporate market, are going to stay the same. Your company is paying for it. Your company's credit card is already loaded onto your profile. So I think that becomes a lot easier. But on the leisure market, yeah, I think you're just going to see a lot more traffic to your website rather than booking.com. I think at the end of the day, it might do a little bit of a reverse where people go on booking.com or OTAs first, then come to your website after seeing your review scores and things like that. So it's a matter of now actually spending the money, spending the dollars, spending the euros on digital ad campaigns, digital ad sales. You have to make sure that the content is relevant and engaging, not just book our hotel, save 10%. No, book on our website, free late checkout, book on our website, free welcome drink. I mean, these are things that really attract people into coming here. Obviously, what we're doing here with video games and the geek culture, I mean, it's come and stay in the world's first video game hotel is obviously a great seller for us. Right away, people are saying, what's a video game hotel? So it really drives traffic to our website. And then, yeah, it's a matter of, the reverse where instead of booking.com, it's our digital ad sales, which are bringing the most traffic now, actually.
Okay. Sasha, compared to the different restrictions all over Europe, Stockholm or Sweden used a different approach. How does this affect your strategy driving direct business to your hotel?
Yeah, it's been a very different situation here, but at the same time, business has dropped for us as well as it has for anybody else. We're practically been closed. I mean, there's no, all the borders are restricted for foreign guests, and a lot of companies have encouraged people to work from home. So in that, all the business travelers have stopped, and a lot of people are taking precautions, so they're not going on their vacations either. But what it has taught us is that this summer we need to really focus on domestic travelers and the Nordic countries. So we're switching all the targeted ads, all the digital ads that we're used to target towards almost all of Europe. Depending on which season it is, we used to target Germany for 1 month. People have their vacations, but now we're just targeting, we're focusing all on Sweden, and we're really trying to boost direct sales. And we had the same journey as Daniel here, that a couple of years ago, we were at 2%. We started focusing on the tech behind it all, booking engine, and targeted ads. And same thing, we're up to about 20% now. And I think that we just have to keep on that strategy. So right now, we're just trying to create content and campaigns. We have them all in the back pocket, so that as soon as we see an opening, we'll start, targeting all the different channels, and then we'll go specifically for Nordic channels. Okay, that's what we'll do.
Without sharing too many secrets, how do you target those customers? Are you using different tools? How is your approach to talk to the people who already know you and to the people who are actually searching just for a hotel in Stockholm?
What we'll do first is we'll go through our directory of probably the businesses that we have business travelers with, and we'll try to, because they need a vacation anyhow. So we'll try to figure out who those people are. After that, of course, Google Analytics. We've just started with Hotelchamp as well. So we'll have some advantage from that. I think that a good analytical software program service is of major importance. And also the website. We're going live, I think, this week with our opensmjle website as well. So hopefully we will have better control of how to target.
I think Daniel and Leah will take care of it. Daniel, you wanted to jump in.
Yeah, I just want to play off of what Sasha was saying. I mean, your PMS is a great source of data. Obviously, times have changed now, but your PMS is a great source of data of where your guests do come from. So it's nice to look historically, but obviously with the restrictions on travel with the different countries, it's a matter of knowing more data and more data and more data. And this is why I tune in every week for you guys and SGR and all the other ones. Knowing which countries are opening up their borders, which countries are, which airlines are starting to fly again, which airports are being open and which ones aren't. So if you are going to spend money on online marketing, newsletters, it's really important that you make sure that you know exactly which markets target, because yeah, I mean, spending money now like we used to all over Europe is just an absolute waste of time and money, obviously. So.
Coming to the data, Liza, do you want to share the first results from our poll? So most of our viewers are from Germany, Austria. We do have Spain and France, Africa, and UK. Perfect.
Germany, come to Amsterdam. Come to Amsterdam. You're allowed. Come to Amsterdam. We're open next month.
Perfect. Jumping onto the data track, Neha, I think you also shared one slide. Maybe Lisa want to show this, and then what are the typical questions you hear from your customers in terms of driving direct sales? What are the needs of your customers you're currently talking to?
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Indeed, I can agree with Dan and Sasha that domestic travel and also direct sales is very, very important right now. And the discussions that we generally have with our customers in terms of the rebound strategy or the reopening strategies, really which channels to use, who to target, basically. And in that context, I also prepared a slide, because when we talk about channels, obviously what we see from a lot of hoteliers, but also what we recommend is to use the low-cost channels, of course. And therefore, I would say email is your friend due to many reasons, because the cost of email is zero, basically. The booking through an email is zero. Hoteliers do have the possibility to really tell the story and share the story now more than ever, actually, through the email. And also the open rate, what we see at the moment, is quite high for email. People do check their email inbox 4 to 5 times a day because people have time right now. So that's why we do recommend using email as a channel and to not underestimate it. But of course, only with, and that's my second statement, segmentation is the key, of course. So who to target? We usually really recommend to make use of your database, because that's also, again, what Dan just said. It's the most effective and cheapest way, basically, rather than focusing on new guests and acquiring them through third parties. Really see, I like the quote, actually, that's why I put it on the slide: loyal guests stay more, pay more, and cost less. So that's why I would recommend to focus on those first. And in order to give you some ideas that we saw from a lot of our customers, segmentation wise, it's really about, of course, the high spenders, but not only the high spenders in your database, but those with the highest margin also. That could be, doesn't need to be necessarily the highest spenders, but look at also the guests that stayed last year during the same time for the next period coming. that could be very interesting. But also a lot of our customers are segmenting the cancellations that have happened to retarget them easily. And in general, just focus on the guests that stayed more than 3 times with you in your property. And the last pillar, maybe also a big topic that we discuss with our customers, are upsells and upgrades. That's a great source for additional revenue along the guest journey. So we basically identify when is the right time. And now, unfortunately, since a lot of hoteliers have a lower occupancy, that actually gives us the chance to maybe upgrade and upsell and give the great guests that are coming right now a great experience also. And it's an additional source of revenue also, yeah.
Thank you, Neha. Frank, when it comes to data and CRM, I think, did you share as well a presentation? I think yes. So maybe you can also share the experience of your clients. How do they target their direct bookers?
Yes, I can. I mean, it's a more holistic approach from the CRM and digital perspective, and let's formulate a small direct booking strategy, so to say. What we think is the first thing is we have to keep as a hotelier our website updated regarding the COVID-19 hygiene measurements, because people are still irritated from a healthy perspective, so we have to give them a good feeling. That's very important on the website part. Then the second point is you should develop as a hotelier a sales strategy and align it with the revenue management team. Talk about new packages, talk about specific rates for the direct channel, and that doesn't mean discounted rates, but in general try to formulate your direct sales packages and offers. That's more or less also mentioned in the third point. Build new offers and packages based on the knowledge, and Dan already mentioned it. You have so many data from your PMS, and we transform it into clean and enriched data in your CRM system. Use this data to formulate specific offers and packages which have a higher chance of conversion if they fit to the demands of your customers. The fourth point is to prominently display book direct perks that you can offer to your guests on your website. Do it very prominent. Fifth point is implement a reservation abandonment strategy. Sixth point, consider an instant reward feature where people can subscribe and get a special offer for the direct channel, which is not available, for example, at the OTA side. This can help you to convert better in your own channel. And the last point, and that's Neha already mentioned a lot of the points, increase your email activities. I mean, you have a lot of guests in your database, specifically if you have a CRM solution running. Use this data to segment your guests on destination where they come from, on the arrival dates they prefer, on their social demographics in general, on their preferences, interests, and what we also deliver is a guest value segmentation based on different criteria to segment them in a value perspective. And if you use this and start or restart your email activities, which cost you nothing in that case, try to get the people in again. And one example is people who canceled. Write an email to them with a specific offer, come back to us, think about different cancellation policies for your direct guests. All these kind of things will help to increase your direct sales from our perspective. And that's what we are discussing with our customers and also already doing with our customers in many cases.
Perfect, thank you.
Welcome.
If you have any questions, just put it up in the Q&A sessions and we will take care of it. André, when it comes to customers visiting your client's website, I think, yeah, they will interact with your system. Have you seen a change? Either the customers or the hoteliers work with your system before Corona and the current times?
Yeah, it's actually a huge difference, and a huge shout out to Dan, first of all, who is a customer of ours and makes super advanced use of the technology with awesome arcade style designs. What we've seen over the last period is one, yes, there is a huge, so there is a trend going up now in bookings again, but throughout the whole period, traffic never really went like to zero. I think this is also what Dan said. And we're not only looking at domestic in the way that we say, okay, you are in the Amsterdam and only domestic in Netherlands is relevant, but a lot of people from Western Germany, for example, come over to Amsterdam, right? Or a lot of people from Southern Germany will go into Austria. So we see that this domestic like segment is expanding a bit, and we're focusing on that. I think the way we saw changing for our customers is really that they are now way more willing to use also a platform, right? Normally a hotelier is like on the front desk, in the front office, in reservations, in the whole hotel. And right now everybody sits a little bit down and thinks, okay, what can I actually do? And how can I communicate the things which are happening? So a lot of hoteliers are really, really active on the platform, and they're changing messaging as things evolve. Yeah, one, hey, we're open and closed. Two, what Frank just said, right? There's different packages we have right now you can book. There's different offers you can book. Then it progressed a bit. Now people start what Neha just said. It's about email marketing to the base to keep them engaged and to inform them what's up. So we brought out email capture, which basically is helping people increase like subscriber base over the website, yeah, as a simple messaging. And a lot of Dutch customers, for example, picking this up and collecting 90, 100 emails in a few weeks, which then you can use with Revinate, for example, again, to keep that the base engaged. Yeah? And then since the traffic didn't go down, but a lot of hoteliers, of course, are relying on PMS data looking backwards. We're trying to give more information about how high is the demand on your booking engine, you know? So what are the dates people are actually looking for, and how do these dates convert, which then helps you as a hotelier again to see, okay, when is actually an uptick happening, and are there things converting, are they not converting, and why is that? And for Dan, I hope the uptick is soon. But we see also a lot of business hotels where it's really swapped around with a lot of leisure travel right now. Yeah, so there's a lot of things changing, and the whole world is upside down, and very interesting things for hoteliers to be in touch with their guests with.
Do you see a change how the actual guest interacts with your technology?
Yes, but this always depends very heavily on how hoteliers use the technology, right? If you have like a good setup and good messaging, like hoteliers, I know like we tend a little bit to write these kind of texts, right? If it's crisp, if it's easy to understand and execute, so you would normally measure how many people engage with a widget, right? So how many people click and then convert. And the more specific these kind of messages are, the higher the click rates. And the most conversion we saw in the last period are really on these really specific messaging about are we open or closed? So like, where's the hotel at? To offer these specific packages. It all repeats again, but these were also the highest engagement rates we've ever seen across the whole base since we're open, because people are really looking for this kind of information now. And hoteliers somehow, like, I think there was a huge movement in the market that hoteliers understand that this has to happen online and not only offline. And the more dynamic they are here, the higher the engagement of the guests online.
Thank you. Maurits, coming to hoteliers.com, please share your insights of how to drive more direct business, especially from an internet booking engine point of view, and also from your digital marketing activities.
Yeah, sure. We also dove into data, as Dan correctly said before. Data is king at the moment. Mostly, but very much right now. We have seen that there is a very good recovery going, but the recovery is a two-sided sword. It's There are many hotels that are above their bookings already of last year, but there's also a whole bunch of hotels, and unfortunately, the two hoteliers in here are part of it of that group. The city hotels they stay behind at the moment for bookings, and it's obvious that people are having stayed in their homes that don't want to visit the hotels in the city at the moment, even though it's possible, and it's really possible for to cross the border already from Germany. And also a big shout out to all my German friends, come visit Amsterdam soon. Well, but we've defined a couple of possibilities on how you can engage, especially on your website, with the current situation, and give the guests a reason for you to visit your hotel and make a city trip. Those I've focused and wrote out here. And communication is the most important essence here. Make sure that you tell them exactly what you've done with your COVID measurements, what is open and what is not, what you can do and what you can't, and why your city is beautiful, and why the places around it are worth visiting right now, even though bars and restaurants are still closed. We've seen very much that the parking is utmost important at the moment, as people don't really want to use the traffic. But for now, it's also true that there are flights coming in again. There's trains going again, and it's very important to keep that in mind and see whether or not the guests are able to come to your city right now. But the main takeout for us is we've seen that the recovery is coming, and it's strong.
Perfect, thank you. Sasha, when it comes to offers for your customers, did you change anything in the current offers you have for your customers on the way before COVID? So do you offer anything in additional? What are the benefits to driving traffic for your customers?
So a lot of the things we did exactly that. Since we've had a little special situation here in Stockholm, where everything has been practically open, some restrictions only on, or recommendations as they called it, on queuing or how to use the public transportation. So everything was ongoing. So what we started to think about was offering day rooms, offices. People were getting tired of sitting at home, so they could come to us. And we were pushing those through the social media. That was the only way, and LinkedIn, so that people could just rent a room for the day. Since they couldn't go into the office, since the office had closed and they were tired of sitting at home, they could come over there, and we made sure that the rooms were always rotated, so that 2-3 days before another person used that room. So that was one thing that we emphasized on. Another thing was exactly that, closing the buffet, that we had a la carte, a la minute. Everything was just done when the customer ordered their breakfast, for example. So we're pushing those. Also weekenders. We also saw an uptick 2 weeks ago with guests coming in from all European cities because restaurants were open here. So that was something that we noticed and quickly engaged on. But it's mainly that we're trying to give a more added value to drive the direct sales. So for instance, okay, if you book with us, we'll give you an added voucher to use the next time you'll come, or book with us for one night and you get the next night 50% off if you want to use it. All of these things that we tried, and those were always direct communications that we did, or email send outs to repeat customers. And we also did some analytics and tried to target them via social media. That is basically the options that we use now, since what we noticed was that people are home, they're very much on social media. They weren't moving in any other directions. They weren't checking any other channels out. So social media helped us a lot there. I think that's a very important thing to keep focused on, as when people are bored, they spend a lot of time on Facebook and Instagram and all of those things.
Daniel, maybe you can add something from your experience and also from your customers. How do you keep in touch with them? On the Q&A session, there's Brandon having the conversation about stay in touch via email, which is maybe an underestimated channel, but how do you see this in terms of email, phone customers, and also social media?
I mean, I think a lot of these people on the panel are in sales and have worked in sales. So I think you know that when you need to make a sale, you need to contact somebody between 1 and 3 times, and then it's 10%, and then 3 and 7 times. I don't know the actual numbers. 3 and 7 times, and increase your chances of making a sale to 40, to 60%, and so on and so forth. So I mean, it's without being annoying, you have to be in touch with your guests. So social media obviously is a great place to do it. You have to have engaging content. It's not even about likes, it's more about reach. How far does your post go? So when you're creative with your property, sales doesn't just come down to rooms, it comes down to the extras that you have, whether it's F&B, whether it's bike rentals, things like this. I mean, we obviously, we actually didn't do it because we were afraid to do it because we're not here all the time, but we were going to rent out our bicycles. We have a beautiful park across the street from the hotel, and we were going to do this because we're here Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. We were going to do a bitter ball and 6 beers, and we were going to hand out flyers in the park just to create local engagement. We have a game room here, which is high-end PCs and gaming equipment and virtual reality stuff, which we also rent out to locals, not during the Corona time because we didn't know about distancing and stuff like this at the beginning, at least. So you have to be creative about that. Now, as far as using your channels, if you post 15 times a day on Facebook, you're going to end up at the bottom of somebody's feed. Facebook works on this, same with Google. I mean, the amounts that you spend doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get more exposure. So you have to find a sweet spot. And I would definitely talk to Maurits about this if you're in Germany, because Hoteliers is also offering this kind of consulting and social media and digital ad sale management. So definitely call Maurits after. But I mean, as far as emails go, at the beginning of this, there was about 4 or 5 conventions or messes that were going to happen in March and in April, and obviously they got canceled. So we're now, at the beginning, we pulled out all of that PMS data, all the email addresses, and we wrote them already saying, okay, well, as soon as this gets back on, for either in October, November next year, contact us and here's your discount. So it's relevant data, and we are going to follow up with these people with our newsletters. We're using MailChimp. It makes it very simple. It makes it very easy. You can pull out specific email lists. So we made one for this messe and one for this messe and one for this messe. So we were emailing those people, and as soon as Corona's over, we do find out that some of the messes are going to be back on. We're going to be right back on them and saying, hey, come on, let's get you booked back in our hotel. But as far as regular day-to-day email communication, I mean, at least for us, this is not something big for us. We do have general requests. I was telling on the chat that, for example, we don't really accept many email and telephone reservations. We have a lot of equipment in the hotel and in the room, a lot of gaming stuff, very expensive. So we'd prefer if the guest has a credit card. Most guests don't want to send it by email. They don't want to send it by phone. So we then tell them, go on our website. If it's somebody that we have a really good communication with or a really good laugh with, maybe they're going to talk to our reservations manager and say, this guy really wants to stay here. How can we do this? He doesn't have a credit card. We'll give them a booking code. We'll allow them to pay by bank transfer. But it's very rare. So email for us, not that it's a waste of time, because once we already have the guest, that's how they may need to get some information. But to create new bookings, email communication besides the newsletters and besides the campaigns is something we try and stay away from.
Thank you. Frank, you wanted to share something.
Yeah, I mean, then it's always depending on the hotelier's situation, and any situation is different. But what I would like to underline in that perspective is, and I'm not talking only about email communication, I'm talking about communication in general, no matter if it is the channel email, or is it a letter you write to your guests, or is it a phone call, or the visit on your website, which, by the way, is a very important contact to the consumer or to the guest. What I want to underline is the use and the value of clean data in a CRM solution. I mean, you talked about MailChimp. It's not a kind of data management platform. It's not a CRM in that holistic way I'm talking about now. But I think the conversion, and you said the chance, or the conversion chance, if you contact a person 2 times, 3 times, or 7 times, it's increases significantly. What I would like to underline is that it will be even better if you use the data that you have from your PMS, from other data sources, to formulate the right offer to the guest. I mean, it makes no sense to do mass marketing, no matter if it's email channel or your website. You should personalize your offers on any touch point with the guest. And CRM and the data you have from all your data sources can help you tremendously to do that.
A question from Daniel. So from the panelist point of view, what would be the number one approach to push direct sales? Is it the tool and the software? And if so, which one is it? Or is it really picking up the phone, taking the email, and getting in touch with your contact list and really go through your contact list from A to Z?
The question to whom?
To all of you. Maybe start with Maurits.
Unmute. Yeah, it always depends on the property, of course, which works best for you. But here you always have to find a balance between personalizing and reaching many people. And with technology and a tool and a software, you often can reach more people. But there's also great ways to personalize that and see how you can attract a potential guest to come to you, or see whether or not how potential that guest is. So therefore, I would say you definitely need a mixture there. And as Dan correctly said, always, but in times like now, it's very important to reach a person more than once. When he's coming along the guest journey, he'll see your website, he'll find you online, he'll send you an email, he will have a mailing, and then eventually he will think, yeah, it's safe enough, and I want to go travel again to Amsterdam, and at the Arcade Hotel, they have everything I need, and they're taking good care of me and my needs at this moment.
André, you also shared a slide with Liza, so maybe you want to be next, and Liza can take up the slide from Hotelchamp.
Exactly. I think it's also about not reinventing the wheel now all the time, right? Every hotel leader knows, cool, we are actually starting to open again, and people travel over the weekend and for the holidays, which are coming up now, right? We have Pentecost coming up, we have Extension Day coming up. So one of our customers actually put out an offer for just one day, and they put it out on different messaging across the website. And they made over 60 bookings for the superior room offer within 2 days, right? So they knew, one, people are coming on Saturday, because I think this was just a week after the Netherlands opened again. And they have now had so much success with that specific offer that they're doing this now for different weekends and for the different holidays to come, right? So that was really easy for them. And what Maurits said about the guest journey is then not just to look at technology, but actually at how do you communicate and how do you do storytelling, right? Maybe the first time they come to the website, you have this kind of offer there. The second time they come to the website, you can pop it up again, but maybe you have a subscription in there, so you can actually pop in your email address and you get the offer by email, right? The third time, maybe there's just a subtle reminder. Yeah? So there's different ways to use things, and I think it's a good time to play around with that. but don't reinvent everything and all the offers now from scratch with your revenue team, but just get out with what you actually have and offer great upgrades in case your hotel is empty.
Thank you. Neha, yeah, coming from the customer or from the conversion funnel, what are your thoughts about either technology or really getting in touch with the customers one by one?
Yeah, it's indeed a mixture, I have to say. I think it was mentioned earlier also, but personalization is the key. But if you have the right software that is also allowing to automate a personalized message, let's say, then you're creating consistency. And that consistency is going to help you as well. But the key is definitely personalization, because then you don't need to, as Frank said earlier as well, you don't need to let's say, you don't need to be repetitive then anymore, basically. So the conversion is going to be higher the more you're going to personalize.
Sasha, when a little look out into the future, where do you see the best opportunities for driving traffic to your website, for bringing direct customers to your hotel, especially now when the lockdown is it's getting more and more off in all the different countries? What are your activities? If you could wish, what would be your preferred activity?
Yes, I mean, one thing has been to really, it's one thing to know your customer, but also know your market, and market is fluid. And the market right now is something that we haven't experienced ever. So you have to be really creative. One thing has been to really analyze our cancellations, see who was coming, and really try to contact them again. And from that point of view, also personalize, depending on which country they are from. So depending on how the restrictions are. I think that the most important thing that we are trying to do now is not only know market, we try to figure out how to really personalize, because I'm not a firm believer in mass marketing towards the masses. It's a bit of a waste of time. But personalizing, understanding who it is you're trying to target, why they want to come to you, what can you offer them. And when it comes to direct sales, it's all about content creation. So now we're trying to really promote what is there around us. I mean, around the hotel, the parks, any type of sites to see, anything special, and some oddities like rooftops, rooftop bars, or rooftop parks that we have that are a little bit of stranger thing than other cities have. So okay, let's try to really bake that in and try to focus on, because a channel provider doesn't really offer that type of added value. It's mainly this is the hotel, these are the pictures, these are the reviews, that's it. So if you come with something else, something special, you can really try to make people engage with you in a more direct way, because they understand that they can get more information or more added value speaking directly to you. And how to target them, well, that's when the data comes in, all the insights that you have from your PMS, from the cancellations. These are very important, because these were people that were trying to come to you in the first place. So that's don't overlook cancellations. That would be my greatest tip, because you have pretty much, I mean, the most secure customer right there.
Daniel, so I think the market in Amsterdam is really obviously huge variety. How do you see your hotels compared to your competitors in the market in terms of creativity, targeting your customers, and also what's your outlook for the summer season, if you have one?
Hold on. No. I mean, compared to the rest of Amsterdam, I mean, we do have our comp sets, which is based obviously a bit on location, a bit on star classifications, a bit on originality and creativity. you know, it's people are going to be looking for something different when we get back to work, just because, yes, we will be competitive on our pricing. And I can't stress this enough to every single hotelier who's listening. Do not drop your prices. You will shit on your own brand by doing so. If you do care about your brand, you will mess it up. So yeah, I mean, we do have an original and creative concept, of course, and I think that we will do potentially, knock on wood, better than some of our competitors, because there's the added value. The fact is, gaming is a geek's wet dream. It is about sitting in the room and gaming, and that's not our expectation, and that's not what I wanted when I opened up this place. I just wanted people to be able to come back at the end of the day and just, you know, instead of watching TV, to be able to game. So yeah, we will be able to offer people this kind of staycation, staying indoors, and so I think that we will be kind of, in a way, okay. We're opening next month with only 7 rooms, but I'm taking those rooms to the next level on gaming. Instead of just having 2 or 3 gaming consoles, we're now putting 4 or 5 gaming consoles. And you can really then choose what you want and how you want. So we're kind of upgrading the rooms that we're already selling. And as far as Amsterdam goes, I mean, the talk of revenge tourism, I believe in it. I do think, and especially for a city like Amsterdam, I don't know if it'll work in Mannheim, or I don't know if it'll work in Sevilla, but I do believe that Amsterdam is one of these cities where revenge tourism is going to come back quite big, quite hard, before potential second wave of Corona shutdowns, before the economic crisis that's coming. I mean, these are all things that people need to take into account of what's coming. So yeah, I think in the end of the day, we'll be okay. But at the same time, we're going to have to work for our money, and we're going to have to work for our guests, and we're going to just have to be a lot more creative and a lot more original than we already are, to ensure that we continue to get these guests. So,
Maurits, Neha, and Frank, maybe, and André, of course, maybe a question to you from the technology point of view. Do you see any difference between hotels in the city center and more leisure-focused hotels in their strategic approach? Starting with Maurits, because you're on my left side on the first row. You're still mute, Maurits.
So, yeah, we clearly saw that the leisure approach is working. So therefore, we are advising our clients to use that as a strategic approach to get forward with the leisure part. As there's a big there's going to be also in the long run less business traveling in the future, as there's no more big events, and finally we've all learned how to deal with Zoom and other techniques to do our work as well. So yes, that's a hard yes.
Neha, from Revinate's point of our perspective, do you see any differentiation between those?
I currently see that the leisure industry, or the leisure hotels in general, are actually profiting right now. Just recently in Germany, I think many hotels in the northern part of Germany have opened. Some of them opened yesterday, and the pickup is great. Also in the southern part of Germany, since the borders are still closed until I think 15th of June. So the German hoteliers are actually profiting from that situation in the leisure side. Whereas in the city, and I don't have any data on that yet, but I think the city hotels are targeting a little bit more the business guests that they used to have in the same period.
Frank, your turn, and after that, André.
Yeah, not that much to add. I mean, there are different business segments. If you talk about leisure business or city hotels, and what Neha said, and the others, yeah. For example, in Germany, the more leisure-oriented properties who are still open have pickups up to 90% of the capacity. It's unbelievable. If you go to the sea, Ostsee or the Northern Sea. So yeah, from a technical perspective, I think you have to consider this different business segments, and you have to differentiate your content regarding the segments. And data, again, can help you to do that.
André.
Yeah, so every second week within the team, we're running what we call learning huddles. And in these learning huddles, we come together and then we brainstorm things, whatever you can do, right? So for city hotels, might it be leisure or business, we came up with 3 different things for city hotels, like to do outside on a rainy day, to do outside on a summer's day, or like experiences you can offer inside your hotels, right? And this is also how business hotels have to adjust a bit. And you can do everything from private shows, car cinema, opera, wine and whiskey tastings outside, to kennel fishing for kids, terraces, treasure hunts, training, yoga, meditation in the hotel. We had a lot of city hotels offering free room service, mini club nights, spa, cooking classes. So it doesn't matter what kind of hotel you are. I think it's a little bit about shifting your value proposition and the things you offer for your guests to do. Doesn't matter if you can go outside or you're inside, or your leisure hotel or business hotel, right? It's about adjusting to your audience and bring up the right value add, which people love, like Dan on the Arcade Hotel, which is really specific then around one awesome topic.
A question to our hoteliers. When I get it right from our question and answer session, when it comes to post-COVID times, do you see that you still offer this creative approaches like offering hotel offices and rearranged F&B office to your customers, starting with Daniel?
I mean, breakfast buffet, we're not going to see it for the next, I don't know how many years. So all of these things that we're going to be doing now, yeah, I mean, I think some of them are here to stay and some of them are not. It really depends on your property and what you're able to offer. And I think that really depends on, yeah, exactly on what your property is able to offer. I mean, we're still going to continue renting bikes. We're just going to have to wash them down now. We're still going to offer breakfast, but it's going to be in a box to your room, and it's going to be in a much more creative way than just the same breakfast we had for the last 5 years. So I think that's worrying about post-COVID. Like, I mean, don't even bother. Now is a great time to get creative, have fun with your property. It's not about spending more money and then, you know, coming up with this, you know, I don't know, build a rocket ship on the roof of the building type of thing. But just, you know, it's a great time to be creative, and you're going to notice if some things work, some things don't. What we hear from Hotelchamp nonstop is A/B testing. So I'm just going to take the Hotelchamp way of going and just go A/B testing for everything. But yeah, as far as getting back to normal, nothing is going to get back to normal because the way it was broken. So that's for society as a whole. But no, I think that it's really up to you of how you want to look forward and post COVID, because if it's not COVID, it'll be something else. If it's not something else, it'll be something else. So just enjoy it while it lasts.
Yes.
The creative process, I mean.
So what of the current initiatives you took and you still take, what of those are going to be long lasting then, or over the post-COVID time?
I mean, upgrading our rooms to the, yeah, upgrade. Oh, sorry, me or somebody else?
Actually, Sasha.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Answer as well.
I already know the approaches we're taking now, yeah?
Right.
Yeah, the approach is very much that we're trying to create something that includes more of our city to ourselves. We're not a coastal hotel. We're not a rural hotel. We're not a leisure hotel in that way. We're noticing that we have to do something different. Of course, business travelers will come back in one form or sense, but probably not in the way that we're used to. So we have to not only try to for the whole post-COVID, how everything will work. It is a different world. But we also have to consider what do we need to add to our property so that we can have an approach that will both help us and propel us into the future. But it's also that emphasizing on what Daniel said before, price dumping and strategies like this. This is old world legacy strategy, old world revenue management, dump the prices. I mean, we've already seen the effects here. There's already one brand chain that has gone bankrupt because they partook in this. I mean, that's not a way to go. Just look ahead. That's what I would say. Look ahead, see what your strategy is, really sit down, go through it, see what you can add to your property without the need to maybe spend more money as well. Maybe there's something already around you that you can include in your property without the need to spend money, something in the vicinity. Try to emphasize on that. Emphasize on your council bookings. Emphasize on how is the business traveler, what are they looking for in the future, if that's your market as well. I mean, for us, our market is leisure and business travelers. I mean, we had the Stockholm Marathon that was canceled, so now we have to think, okay, how do we substitute all of this loss of revenue? Of course, we can't substitute this loss of revenue. Nobody will be able to, not at least until sometime next year we'll be able to get back to some kind of a normalcy in terms of revenue, but not a normalcy in the way people travel or how the hotel industry will work or how revenue management will work. I think this will change, and it's about adjust and adapt.
Thank you. So yeah, it's almost 1 hour right now. I think, Liza, it's time for our second poll. Daniel, you want to share something?
I just want to add one thing, and I think that every hotelier and everyone who works with hoteliers, I think that going forward, you asked me what's going to change. I think what needs to change is we need to communicate better to our guests that when they book through OTAs, it hurts us and it hurts their guest experience. And I want to prepare our marketing and our communications going forward and our website stating it clearly. When you book through booking.com, you're taking a percentage of the business that doesn't allow us to better our property, better ourselves. Because at the end of the day, yeah, this is a cash flow business, and sometimes it's a lot harder when we have OTAs taking 15 to 30% of our business. So if we want, and sometimes, yeah, even 50% of our business, and I think this is a great time to communicate to our guests, hey, listen, if you book direct, you're supporting, at least for me, mom and pop. Even some of the chains, I mean, it's just, and I hope not to start the movement myself, but I hope that people really do kind of start communicating, listen, yeah, book direct. We give you more. It's even when our prices are 10 euros cheaper than OTAs, they'll still book with an OTA. So, and then, we still have to pay the 15% or the 20%. So I just wanted to add that in because I feel very passionate about it.
So Liza, it's your time for the second poll. Should we do it again? For some housekeeping notes, this recording will be up, I think, within the next few days. And our next session will be next Thursday, so May 25th. And the topic will be prediction for hospitality in 2021. A great topic. We have a lot of interesting panelists. And now let's see what's happening in our poll. In the meantime, first of all, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and insight. So most of us, I want to be a panelist, perfect, make it longer, and let's do it again. I hope so. And yeah, thank you very much for all of you who are watching our today's topic, our today's talk. Thank you to all the panelists for sharing your insights, your thoughts and ideas. And I want to close this session with one positive takeaway for the future. Starting with Liza.
surprise, one positive takeaway, or like one thing that I took away from until now, or one thing that people shall do in the future, Alex? Which
Daniel, yeah, you can predict.
just a positive message.
Just a positive message, a positive takeaway, what to do and what comes next.
What comes next? Whatever you want to, and I think that's most important. So do you, be you, and yeah, do it with other people together. So talk, interact, and do you and be you. That's basically it.
André.
Change is always happening, so keep moving.
Maurits, a show one from André. You're still mute.
Okay, finally unmute again. I want to put on the point that Dan made and say that we do see this, and we're now researching even deeper into it. The guests are wakening up to our year-long ideas that we brought out, that book direct is better for the hotel and the guest. More value will be given to them, and hoteliers will have a better possibility to stand on. And I think it's happening.
Thank you. Neha, your takeaway, your positive takeaway.
Yes, I think communication is key in these times. Technology is allowing us to share our knowledge all together here, and we're all profiting from it. So keep communicating, and also don't forget to communicate with your guests for the hoteliers.
Thank you. Frank?
Yeah, I mean, not a concrete statement. I feel, especially today, the positive energy which is back at the hotelier side. And I like that very much, to be honest. And yeah, in that perspective, I hope that the tech providers like we in this panel can support you in the best way to boost it even more in the future.
Daniel, your turn.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Perfect. And last but not least, Sasha.
Almost the same thing. It's adjust, adapt, evolve. Stay in a state of constant improvement. A winning recipe is only winning for a while, and then you still have to change it. So don't forget to just evolve all the time. Don't stop moving.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you very much for today's panel. It was great to hear you and really taking your thoughts into the world outside. So thank you very much. For all those who have a long weekend ahead, enjoy your weekend, and hope to see you soon again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.